So Rell Seas is getting closer to the release date. So we're gonna be talking about what you need to know on Rell Seas release. So first thing being is we all know a lot about the races in Rell Seas, but it won't be a gotcha. Meaning that you don't have to spend Robux, steal your mama card, just for you to buy some Robux and not even get a 1% chance race. But honestly, that's not what's gonna be important in Rell Seas. We're gonna be covering a couple things like ships, having a team, stacking up on resources, the life of being a marine and the life of being a pirate. But first, we're gonna go ahead and talk about ships. So we all know that the fruits inside Rell Seas are pretty good, I won't take that away from the game, but honestly, that's not what I would focus on coming into Rell Seas. Coming into Rell Seas, what you want to focus on mostly is your ship. And why is that? The Rell brothers said that having a stronger ship is way better than having a fruit, because they want to have the game be, like a true pirate game. They want you to actually have, ship battles, and there's also a lot of events like using your ship. Like when using your ships, you also have to think about fighting sea beasts, for events, constructing your business. And when I say constructing your business, I mean like forming a source of income using your ship. Like opening up a restaurant, for example. My members of my crew is gonna have to, start up some type of business to, form an income for the crew and, build up some type of revenue. Not only that, you have to worry about traveling, because who knows how long that the island's gonna be from one another. And you never know like what events that you're gonna come across when traveling to another island. But moving on to the next thing that you should know is having a team. This also piggybacks off having your ship, because if you didn't know already, there's talents inside the Rell Seas, and you won't be able to upgrade every single talent. That means that you need somebody else either in your crew or around you to have a different talent from you, so they can pick up where you lack. For example, let's say your talent is navigating, knowing where to go, and you may have a problem with your ship, which means you would need a shipwright. You would need somebody to keep up with the ship. Not only that, when coming across events on the sea, like going against sea beasts, pirates, like, NPC marines and stuff like that, it helps you to clear missions faster than doing it yourself. And honestly, who doesn't want to have like a crewmate on their ship? It makes the game way more fun and adventurous, you know what I mean? But another thing that you have to know when coming into Rell Seas is that before you go to any island, you want to make sure that you stack up on resources. Resources is probably one of the most important things inside Rell Seas. And you might be asking me, Daameh, why is that one of the most important things inside Rell Seas? Because 90% of the things you do is going to be traveling, and who knows what you may come across on sea. So for example, let's say you come across another pirate crew, and then they start a battle with you, right? And y'all come out alive, or maybe y'all get away. How do you repair your ship without any resources or material? It would probably be ideal for you not to have to go back to the island that you just left to gain up on resources again. So you might want to, stack up on resources for long-term success and just for safety. And you also have to understand that we don't know how the hunger bar is going to work inside Rell Seas. We don't know how long it takes. We don't even know if there's different effects when going on sea. We don't know if there's different effects. We don't know what it comes with. We don't know if there's poisoning effects to where you have to keep on eating food after going through battles. So you want to also make sure that you stack up on food. And see, I'll be honest, in my crew, I'm gonna make sure that I bring a cook with me a navigator, a shipwright, and I just have to have a marksman. I have to have a marksman on my crew. I need somebody, in case we're going into a battle, I need somebody that's gonna stand on our ship and be able to shoot them. And also, going into the next thing I want to talk about is being a pirate and being a marine. So I know being a pirate sounds fun, but what you have to understand that everybody is coming after you. I'm talking about marines, other pirates. Although it's free and you can be your own boss, you can do whatever you want, you can break all the rules you want. You have to understand that there's a lot of Rell Seas crews that I know of that are marines, and their whole goal, look, while we're adventuring and trying to find new maps, their whole goal is to find us, try and put us in jail, or even kill us. But if you didn't know, you want to know what's harder than going against marines or going through events? It's getting out of Impel Down. So if they get you and they put you to a certain, let's say your bounty is super high and they put you to the lowest level of Impel Down, because there's levels to it. There's like level 1, which is pretty cool. Level 2, there's different levels to Impel Down. So if they put you to the lowest, which is undersea, and even if you have a full crew, it's still, your crew would have to be very skilled enough to come inside Impel Down or finesse their way in, and then get you, go all the way back up. And let's be honest, by the time you make it all the way down Impel Down, there's gonna be hella marines down there waiting for you. They're gonna be up there just waiting for you to come back up, or they might even meet you down there. You know what I mean? That's not an easy feat. So if I ever see somebody get an Impel Down and they break somebody out, much respect, much respect. But look, before I go ahead and get to the last thing, y'all, if you're not in a Rell Seas crew, trust me, you want to join us. We have 430 members and counting, and we have a lot of roles that needs to be filled. Because as of right now, I'm giving out roles. Well, certain roles I won't be able to give out, because I wouldn't know if you would be good at certain things inside Rell Seas. But if you would like to be on hold, but on in a wait list for certain roles, join up, create a ticket, and most likely you'll probably be high up for a couple roles, because there's a lot of roles that haven't got taken yet, like left hand man, right hand man, 5 tyrants, our bounty hunters, and our reapers. So if you want to know what those roles mean, go ahead and join up. But hopping back on topic, we're going to be talking about NPC factions. So NPC factions are very important in Rell Seas as well. So whenever you have a ship or whatnot, you have to realize that you need at least some NPCs as well to shoot, because not everybody gonna have friends to play with, and they're not gonna have a crew that they can play with and shoot people. Who gonna shoot the cannonballs if it's just you? That's why you have to go against factions and recruit members from the factions, the NPC factions, and then bring them onto your ship, and then they now work for you. So now you have people to use the cannon, so now you can do damage to other ships. So while they doing damage to other ships, you can even get onto their ship. And that's not the only reason you wanna go against those factions and recruit members. It also help you with sea events, like going against sea beasts. But not only going against sea beasts, they have other events like marine NPCs following you. You have to worry about getting involved with marine and pirate events. They may have a pirate and a marine crews that's NPCs that's battling as an event, and you might get involved. They might start coming after you just randomly. It just makes your whole life easy when approaching different different things inside the game. But look, comment down below if you're gonna be a marine or you're gonna be a pirate. And also, let me know if I missed any other things that you should know inside Rell Seas. And on that note, we're out. Subscribe. See you on the next one.